welcome everybody to the second round of the 2024 Formula Sprint 2 Championship. We are live under the lights at Jeddah Corniche Circuit in Saudi Arabia. I'm joined once again by Alex Foulkes. Hello, Alex. Welcome.
Hello.
You're looking forward to tonight? It was a fantastic opening to the season a couple of weeks ago at Australia, and we did see some interesting developments, some potential candidates for the championship moving forwards. Obviously, we've very early in the season, but there are some clear pace setters, and yeah, lots of interesting things happened.
Well, the great thing with Jeddah, it's a test not only of your speed but also of your consistency. So we're going to really see who are some real title contenders today. Who was that crashing into the wall? Was that Tuamala or Parker?
Yes, one of those two. But yes, carry on. Sorry.
Yeah, that's all I can really say. It's a lot of turns. It's a long race, and yeah, we're definitely going to see who is the best drivers, as we are, I imagine, just waiting for qualifying to start now.
Yes, so we're moving into qualifying. This is the end of the practice session. Atop the timesheets, the two Apex drivers of Latnan and Taras, we saw them both have pace at Australia last time out. So keep an eye out for the Apex Grand Prix drivers. Micah for Reading Game Studios was P3 in practice, so keep an eye out for those drivers. James Knox has moved from the Academy team to Team RNG on a permanent basis, so well done to James Knox for impressing at Australia. We saw him kind of in the wars a little bit. He looked a bit like a raw talent, but he's definitely quick, and he now has a permanent drive, Alex.
Yeah, that's the tale for a lot of drivers, though, it seems, in that first race. Not exactly the most consistent, but they were getting through it, and there was a lot of good racing. Hopefully, that transfers into here at Jeddah. There's many good overtaking opportunities. You got turn 1. I wouldn't even be surprised if we saw someone go for a move at turn 4, or that entire S section. You've also got turn 24. That's a great overtaking opportunity into the final corner of the track. And that long left-hander, I don't actually know which corner that is. I think it's turn 9, if I remember correctly. But yeah.
Yes, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of corners they've got. There's like 20 something. There's a lot of corners.
There's a lot of corners.
Yeah. So 27 corners. So very long track in terms of turning left and right. It's a lot of them are kind of straights. So, especially in the Formula Sprint 2 car, there's a lot of flat-out zones, and slipstream will be a big thing once again. And I would say as well, we did see in Australia, we kind of missed DRS from last season, and here it should be a bit more of a slipstreaming fest, if you like. A lot of drivers in behind each other trying to get straight line speed and gain time in straights.
I mean, it's the best time to gain straights as drivers now heading out onto their qualifying laps. Obviously, to set the grid for race 1, that's going to be 13 laps, and I would greatly appreciate if we got mainly to the on-track action as we're watching the outlap. I think that's Oliver Taras.
Yes.
At the moment.
Yeah. So he's obviously. Prepping, but so the thing is with the tires in Formula Sprint 2, and one thing I was going to mention about this as well, we didn't really see the degradation too much in Australia, but this is a much heavier track for tire wear than it was at Australia. There's a lot more G-force going on, so that will now play a part in the two races. It'll be about people not necessarily pushing completely 100% all the time, Alex. So it'll be about looking after those tires a little bit. So that you've got something left at the end.
I mean, last year when I raced here, the tire degradation wasn't that bad, but obviously, as you got through the race, you realized you couldn't push it just as much as you thought you could later on in the race. You know, you'd sort of got degradation on the rear tires. We're going now to the first couple of fast laps, but in qualifying, it won't be that much of an issue, but during the race, some of these drivers are going to really struggle to keep their tires alive. Especially towards the back or when you're fighting with dirt, yeah, you're going to be scrubbing a lot of that tire away. So it's going to be very interesting to see sort of attack strategies, let alone just of how they're keeping the tires alive when it comes to attacking other drivers in what turns you want to get close to them.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. It is going to play a role. Obviously, in qualifying, and we're on board with Oliver Taras right now. You can push 100%. You will notice that some of the drivers will run wide a couple of the corners. The track limits are set by the game. They are a little lenient on a couple of the turns, but it did prove costly for a couple of drivers at Australia. Especially in the races where they picked up drive-through penalties. We hope that doesn't happen here. Taras has been very quick in practice. Anything in the low 50s would be good for an opening lap. Ultimately the best lap we've seen is a high 49, so pole should be in and around that. This is Taras's first lap, and of course it will be a banker. That's kind of the strategy, but he is pushing quite hard, and he has set a very competitive first sector. It says purple, but it will say purple for everyone until a lap time is completed. Lahtinen is going slightly quicker. In fact, he has set the best overall second sector as well, but only a couple of hundredths is Taras behind him. So we'll stay on board with Taras as he comes through the final couple of corners and heads towards the final corner. Just got to get the braking right for this. Is the second of the two sort of heavier braking zones, the first one being turn 1. The rest of the lap is so fast. There just isn't really any braking zones, but Taras coming towards the line, shortest route possible, stays to the left of the track and crosses the start finish line now, and it is a 50.0. That's a great lap to open up, and he sets the fastest lap. Lahtinen goes straight to the top with a 49.921, so Apex proving they have a lot of speed here.
Yeah, and they're going to keep on pushing. They aren't going to stop right there. Of course, they've got 4 attempts to the next competitor, but like you said, there's a lot more time to be found with the highs, and we've got one already. But I suspect as the track warms up, as the drivers warm up, those times are just going to get closer and closer and closer as people sort of get, in a way, more reckless with how they're driving their laps and getting closer to the outside of the track. I think we saw on Taras's lap, we were on board of him through turn 22. Probably wasn't pushing as much as he probably could have been, but that's what we're going to see for the first few laps here, so we can't be too sure of any order just yet because of how close these lap times will be by the end of qualifying.
Yes, people will close up, and of course, as I was sort of trying to allude to, that the first lap you do in qualifying, you kind of play it a little bit safer. Try to get that lap in, really, so that you've got a benchmark time, and the drivers will have a live delta in their dash to show them how far up or down they are on their previous best, so it's good to get just a lap in. Private qualifying is enabled, so that showed it perfectly as we jumped to Lahtinen on his way around the lap. He's still going quickly. In fact, he's set a purple middle sector, which is great for Lahtinen. The private qualifying means that everyone is on track, but not in the same session, if you like. So there's no slipstreaming, nothing like that. It is a blank canvas for the drivers to drive on. But the rubber does still get laid down by all the cars on the track. So it is something, the track does develop as if the cars were all on track at the same time. So something to keep an eye on.
Yep, and obviously the track will quickly warm up here because you're putting a lot of rubber down very quickly. Sort of the driving style that comes with RF2 is scrubbing those tires a lot through the higher speed corners, and I think that's what we're going to see a lot of drivers do, focusing less on the slow speed corners like the one we're watching right now, watching Philip Sawinski. But yeah, it's going to be those high speed corners where you really have to push the limits, get really close to the walls, and yeah, that's turn mainly sector 1 that you want to get close to the walls. When I raced here in 2023, my mainest accolade was the fastest first sector 1. That was a very hard push in sector 1, but yeah, that's what we got to do. We got to get close to the walls, and we got to make sure that we're carrying that momentum, which a lot of these drivers will be doing, but also they need to make sure that they aren't throwing the lap away very easily. Turn 12 seems to be one of the easiest places to throw a lap sort of willy-nilly just by going over the line on the outside, and this is Tom Dillon's first lap, and it's not going to be much of an improvement for him. Or was that his second lap? Yeah,
his second lap on those tyres. But Tom Dillon standing in for this round. He is the team owner of Reading Game Studios Racing. They have a new livery for this round, so keep an eye on that particular car. In fact, and his teammate, who is, where is he in position? Oh, third position for Micah. Very good. So yeah, Reading Game have a new livery for this round. Here's Domenico Scarpelli, who is driving in Knox's place at GPVWC Academy team after James got himself a drive at Team RNG. So Scarpelli is out there now for Academy.
Yeah, so no longer a full English lineup. I can't really take myself seriously saying that, but...
What do you mean? I mean, he's a Dutch owner.
Yep.
Menno Klont's team. Ninth position for Scarpelli. We weren't really commenting on the lap itself, but he moved himself up into the top 10. Great job for Domenico.
Yeah, and being in the top 10 will definitely be important, as Jeddah track position is probably more important than you might think, and being in the middle there is probably right where you want to be if you want to be challenging for the higher points paying positions like 5th or 6th. To be in 10th or 9th, that seems like an ideal position for the slipstreams to get there by the end of the race. So I wonder if people are going to sort of try and sit back in qualifying almost to try and be in the middle instead of be at the front. I doubt that's going to happen, but you never know with GPVWC. Or people might just claim they're doing that, when in reality they are slow. But Micah on board with that was quite nice through turn 11. And heading to the first sector line, only 1.4 tenths slower than Yasser Lattinen, who had an amazing first sector and is currently purple again with a 39.5, heading on to, I think, his 4th lap of qualifying, hoping to extend that lead for pole as we head into the last stint. Not so clean through turns 15 for Micah, but I'm sure he will make it up. But Lattinen, even faster in sector 2. This is going to be an amazing lap if he's able to finish it. And yeah, almost 4 temps up even in the first 2 sectors alone. So all he has to do is keep this final sector nice and clean, which he seemed to have done. And this is going to be a monster lap for pole.
It is, yeah. 2.5 tenths up in the middle sector. Lattinen looking to improve on his already pole position time of 49.491. Yeah, he's very happy with that lap time. Look at him swerving over the line. I would be too. He's done with qualifying. He is absolutely done with qualifying at that point. That is clearly a very good lap. That's easily the fastest lap we've seen of anyone up to this point. Purple, 3 purple sectors. Boy, is he happy.
I would love to see a replay of that lap on board. It must have been right up against the walls, properly pushing, which very well done to Yasser Lattinen. But we also missed Massimiliano Raboli going up to take P3 from Matush Micah. So that's pretty good to him. And I doubt Yasser is going to go for another lap after that one. But yeah, and Bjorn Goller finishing, well, not finishing, but crossing the line to stay 29th. And I think we've got a bit more of a field spread in qualifying than we did last time, or at least it looks like it because of that monstrous pole time at the minute. But I say that 6th to 22nd is separated by less than a second, so that's mighty close. And
yeah, that lap from Lattinen is skewing the rest of the grid. Really, it must have been an almighty lap, and as you say, would have been nice to, I mean, obviously we can't watch everyone all the time, but yeah, all Dix's tapped the wall there. You do pick up quite a bit of damage from doing that, and these cars are a little bit more fragile than they were last season, so something to keep an eye on here. You have got to get close to the walls, but you hit them and you are at risk of causing yourself some problems. That's a better line from Fakuinov, who is actually on a decent lap. He's done 2 personal best sectors so far. He is 1.4 off pole at the moment, but this does look like an improvement. It's half a second in the first sector. That they're all a lot slower in the first sector than Lattinen. He's obviously got something hooked up in that first sector that nobody else is able to achieve, really. I mean, Lattinen back in the pits now, by the way.
The thing I've noticed with SS2 is people struggle to push it in the higher speed sections, especially Jeddah or the final corner at Monza, or the final sector at Monza for instance, but yeah, I think we're seeing the results of that today, where Yasser Landon is pushing it beyond the limits that people thought were possible. Yeah, this is Magnus Ockenhaug. He's a second behind on Yasser Landon, for any context of just how strong that lap was.
Yes, we don't often talk about drivers to this level, but that it really smashed everyone that lap time. They will be looking at that and wondering where that time's come from. But Latinen is our championship leader by a point from everyone else as well. We're looking at Magnussen now. Sorry, we're looking at Magnus Ockenhaug. Sorry, Ockenhaug, who had a kind of up and down opening round. P9 in race 1, P2 in race 2. Ockenhaug P5 currently in the championship. We'll go through the championship standings in a bit more detail in warm-up. Here's Oliver Taras, who has done a pretty decent first sector actually. Not a personal best, but only 2/10 off Latinen. They've really got something hooked up in that first sector over everyone else actually. It's a substantial gain they've got. When Latinen starts his lap, which is momentarily, I'd like to see, as Taras does do a personal best, but he's not going to get anywhere near Latinen's time here. I would like to see Latinen's first sector if we can. He should be starting a lap pretty shortly, just to see what they're doing in that first sector. It must be something completely different.
There's not much you can do in the first sector, but we've completely missed it, unfortunately.
It's still the outlap. Okay, perfect. So so here comes Taras as he crosses the line. He's going to improve 0.680. They've got a massive advantage. Apex, look at that, 6/10 to Ribbley, who is no slouch. Mike is starting his lap now. Latinen is coming through the final couple of corners now, I believe. About to start his final run. Micah was wide through turn 2 a little bit there, so I'm not sure this is going to be his best.
Yep, and here we go. This is Latinen through the final sector.
Yeah, sorry, I got ahead of myself. He's about to start that lap. Who is on a lap? James Knox has just moved up to P5. Vakuinov P10 currently. Ockenhaug has just moved himself up to P9 with that lap, so well done to Ockenhaug. He has got himself into the top 10. But here comes Latinen. Let's watch on board with our current pole sitter. It looks like nobody on the grid has got a chance, really. Micah, Ribbley and Taras are all in the box. James Knox has just completed his final lap. So here comes Latinen then down to turn 1. Let's see what he's doing. This is very unhelpful, Latinen. That is definitely not the best line through turn 1 and 2, and he's given up straight away.
Yes, but I think Magnussen's on a lap, hopefully to try and get close to that, I would imagine. But yeah,
Magnussen's on a lap. Scarpelli's done a decent, or for him, does a decent first sector. Green in the first sector, unfortunately, has not improved in the middle sector. Luca Gray's just improved to P18. Yes, Magnussen is now in the pit lane. James Knox is not going to improve. Who else is on a lap? Craig Patterson moves himself up to P17. He'd probably be slightly disappointed with that. Scarpelli a little bit sideways through the final corner as he comes down the start-finish straight and crosses the start-finish line. Now this would move him up into the top 10 if he can improve, which he does, but doesn't improve his position. He actually lost a couple of tenths on that last sector.
Yep, and Dexter also won't improve coming into the pits there. I don't see many people now.
Cowper down in 25th is on a green first sector for him. He is on a lap still, so he may be able to improve.
Tuamala also might be able to improve, as I say that, up to 7th. That's a relatively strong lap compared to the rest of the field, so that's put him in an amazing fighting position. And I believe Florian Hasse, apart from Tom Dillon, is one of the last drivers on the track. I would imagine he wants to improve, but can't from 22nd, and I think Tom Dillon is not on another lap. So that will be our qualifying order.
Twill. Well, I mean, to have 7 tenths over the second over the opposition is quite large if you're Apex Grand Prix. That's what they've got. Taras very close actually. He's still missing a little bit in that first sector. Latinen's was so good. So quick. Wild. They've got something going down in that first sector that nobody else has noticed. But here's the lap times then. So the only two drivers in the 49s had a 49.4 for Yasser Lahtinen. He didn't improve afterwards because of that drifting through turn 1 and 2. Ribbley is P3 for Optimal. Mateusz Majka for Reading Game in P4. James Knox making his debut for Team RNG in 5th. Patrick Magnussen 6th position. And Mikhail Tuamala 7th for Cap Clay. With Yunus Karala, Priority 1 esports driver, in 8th. Noah Tuamela, I can do that one. I don't know why I messed it up that time. For KV86 is 9th. And Magnus Ockenhaug in P10. Further back then, on row 6, we've got Chavinsky and Vakuinov, with Sokolovsky and Scapelli for GPVWC Academy making his debut, with Josh Dexter, his teammate behind him, in 15th place. Dan Hutt in 16th, and Jörn Dix in 17th for Excellion. Craig Patson in 18th position, with Luca Gray behind him in 19th, and Oliver Scharker in P20. 21st position goes to Tom Parker, who actually won race 2 at Australia and P2 in the standings, so he'll be disappointed with that. Florian Haase for Excellion in 22nd, Joe Gillett for Hunter Birch in 23rd, 24th is Maxi Giesinger, 5th is Nick Kauper, 26th Mano Manikandan, who's stepping in this round for ST. Mike Bell, 27th position, he'll be disappointed with that as well. Tom Dillon in 28th position for Reading Game, Mihailo Vicentievich in 29th, and Bjorn Golda in 30th. And 31st and last on the grid, and didn't set a lap time, is David Yunt. Which is interesting. I wonder why David didn't do that.
That's the first challenge, maybe.
In a championship. He might do that in Academy. I don't know about in Formula Sprint 2. Maybe he just feels... I don't know what he feels. No idea. You can catch him on a Monday for the Academy. He does some commentating, Yunt, and I'll pose the question to him then. Let's talk about the championship. So the first round at Australia, Alex, went the way of Tom Parker in race 2 and Patrick Magnussen in race 1. But those two both behind Yasser Lahtinen, who is P1 in the championship, and it's all about top 5s, isn't it, for the championship standings here?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be those top 5s that are going to win championships. Obviously, the race wins will help, but I don't think this year, without the likes of Luke Mitchell, who's just going to go and win every single race, I think we'll have an interesting championship, because it's not going to be the race wins necessarily that's going to win a championship. And I say necessarily because if for whatever reason we come to the end of the season with a draw, it will be decided by that, obviously.
Yes.
But that's highly unlikely. So I just think that, yeah, like you said, it's the top 5s that are going to win championships. And I think the top 5 is going to be very difficult to fight for here at Jeddah with such a close field spread other than the top 2.
Yeah, the reason I say that as well is because it's such a large reverse grid. So for race 2, it's a substantial amount of drivers. It's kind of randomly picked up to 15th position, but there's a substantial number of drivers that you start behind if you win the race, as I say, up to 15. So you can, end up with a first place. And what happened to Magnussen was he then had 16th place in race 2. Easily done. Oliver Taras, race 2, he was 12th after finishing 2nd in race 1. You kind of almost want to be P5, P6 in race 1, because it means you start that much further ahead of the rest of the field. And although race 2 is worth a little bit less points, it's not enough to make so much of a difference. So those top 5s, that's kind of what you want to aim for. Obviously, if you win race 1, it's great. And Lattin's on 27 points and race 1 win is worth 25. So, it does eventually balance out if you can win race 1. But it does mean you can have a more consistent season rather than get yourself in trouble.
Yeah. It's, like you said, it's not about winning race 1. If you can put yourself in a better position, you're probably going to net more points. If you say you're getting 3rd in race 1, that's... top of my head, I think that's 20 points.
Third is 16 in race 1, yeah.
16.
Yeah.
So then if you win race 2, then that's 36 points. That's better than getting a P1 and then getting a 5th,
Yes.
for instance. So, yeah, it's gonna be very, very useful to sort of predict the outcome of race 2 and put yourself in a better position. But if you're gonna win, you're going to win. There's nothing you can do to stop that.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, you do want to. My point really is over the course of the championship, you know, if you can consistently get those top 5s ticking, you stay in the hunt. And drivers like Massimiliano Riboli, who essentially don't have, you know, overall maybe the best, like overall 1 lap pace. He's had a 6th and a 4th. He's only 4 points off the top. You know, he can tick those over and still be in the hunt later on in the season. So it is like championships aren't about winners on the day. And this is something Carlos Martin actually said to me recently. It's not about winning a race on the day. It's about overall driving like a champion. And that's what we're going to start to see over the next few rounds. It's all very well and good having 7 tenths over the opposition in qualifying, but if you can't turn it into a consistent race result, we'll see what happens. But Latin does have a lot of pace here. I suspect Apex are going to do very well in race 1. That's my prediction.
I'm wondering if their advantage is going to apply into their race pace. Obviously, they might have a better understanding of everyone else, but at the same time, if they get jumped off the start by having a bad start, then they're going to have to fight their way back up. I highly doubt it for Lastman. If he has a bad start, he's probably only going to get overtaken by Oliver Terras, his teammate. So that shouldn't be much of an issue, but it's just those fine details that they need to get right at the start of the race if they want to have a good sort of race pace. And I really like that quote you used of, you must drive like a champion and not like a winner, as we see, I think, Josh Dexter crashing into the wall there. But yeah, I think that's a mightily important quote in general. That
yeah, it's Carlos Martin's pearl of wisdom that I'm stealing. That one, I have to attribute it to him. It's not my phrase at all. But it was really interesting that he said that. It was a conversation about a driver in Super League, but it's important for the overall championship. And at the end of the day, I mean, that's really what we're focusing on. But we are here for Jeddah, and we are here for round 2. There are a couple of things that we missed driver lineup change wise. Which is a sentence I don't want to say again. So we mentioned Knox has replaced Jakob at RNG. So RNG no longer having. Wasn't it Scott Morris who drove at the first round? I was just thinking about this. Scott Morris and David.
Let me check the spotter guide actually.
But there we are.
Yes, there was.
Okay, so Karbachik was supposed to drive this round, Jakob Karbachik, but he's actually not driving. So Knox is in his place. Manu Manikandan, we did mention that at ST, replaces Michael Teichmann, who was disqualified, by the way, from the first round for not having a license. So yes, that's unfortunate for that team. I think there's one more change. Alice Stone was supposed to be driving, or did drive at Excellion, sorry, for the first round, but now Ewan Dix and Florian Hauser are both driving today, so that's another change from the first round. Is there another one? I think that might be it.
I think that's it.
It's hard to keep up with. There's a lot of teams. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 12. 16 teams in FS2. 32 drivers. So. Oh, yes, well done. So little Vincent Gutt sounding voice in my ear just said that we don't have... So Tom Dillon's driving for Reading Game instead of Dan Hayek.
That is weird that we have a Vincent Good sounding voice in our ear constantly telling us things we don't know.
I know. And no one else can hear him, so he can say whatever he likes during the broadcast. And often does. So So Vincent Gutt sounding voice just told us that Apex are also quicker than everyone else on the straights. What did you say? What did you say? 15? Oh, until P15. Okay, I'm going to review the qualifying. So we're now having a conversation with a voice you can't hear. So yes, they are. They are 2 or 3k quicker than everyone, up to Josh Dexter, who's running extremely low wings in P15. He's on 2. So the top speed in qualifying was 259 from Dexter. Most of the top 10 are around 252. So he's got 7 clicks over the top 10, which is substantial actually, Alex.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at Magnus Ockenhauer at a 262.2, and I'm
I missed that one.
That's with well, that's not qualifying, but that's
yes, that's
warm-up.
yes.
I'm hoping that's slipstream.
It will
Otherwise, that is terrifying.
Yeah, so that's okay. So that's why I was looking. So if you go to race-view.com and you search for GPVWC servers and you click the one that says GPVWC Sim Racing without any numbers afterwards, that is the race server that we're using. You can actually look at the stats, the gaps, the lap times, the sectors. That's what we were doing throughout qualifying just now. You can actually click results in the top left. There's like a little 3 bars. You click that and go to results. You can actually see the qualifying results, and then there it is a very good indicator of what wings people are running, because there is no slipstream in qualifying, and actually even in FS2 as well. Even more importantly, there's no DRS, so you can see for real who is going to. Does that say powered by Billy Boys on the rear wing of the Cap Clay?
I'm sorry.
What? Is that what Tom Parker's wing says? I do enjoy a bit of FS2 banter.
Yeah, there's some interesting things that have been written on the rear wings. Oh no, that's not optimal.
No, it's not. It's not an optimal. That's correct.
Okay. We are far too giddy.
I like warm up. It means we can just talk.
Yes.
Sokolovsky. So there's a perfect example of the track limits I was talking about earlier. So he, in technical terms, is beyond the white lines on the inside there, but the game won't do him for track limits there. It's slightly more lenient in. Then there again, he's gone beyond the white lines. That is the new F1 rules, but at GPV we are still sort of on the older style rules, mostly because it's just less strict.
It's also more fun.
I agree. Couldn't agree more.
I mean, you can
we're gonna get a 360. Oh no, we're not.
Oh.
That was a shame. So yeah, so we run slightly different rules. We also, in the further up the career ladder, we also have it's now top 15, but start on the tyres they qualified on rule, which I like a lot. And I don't know why F1's got rid of it, because now everyone's in the same strategy in F1, so there's fewer options, I guess.
Gone are the days of Mercedes running mediums during qualifying too.
Well, I mean that, yes. That's when they have a significant advantage over everyone else, but I could talk about F1 until I'm... What's the phrase? Blue in the teeth? Is that right?
I have never heard such a phrase.
Blue in the face? I think it might be.
I'm talking so much, probably.
Don't count your lucky chickens. Yeah, blue in the face, my bad. Yeah. What was I saying? Yeah, so F1 is, it's the rules of...
Special.
Yeah, there's some weird changes they reversed. I prefer the track limits in F1 because I think they do take the mick at certain tracks, or have done in the past. And now it's more consistent track by track rather than, well, this track for no random reason you're allowed to run 4 wheels off the track. Bahrain, for example, turn three at Bahrain.
Oh,
just kind of
close.
That was close. Bahrain turn 3, they were all just randomly running off the track. Now they can't. I think that's better. But like here, we're here to have fun. It doesn't really matter, does it?
No. And that being said, it's FS2, so I honestly couldn't care less if someone flat out threw a chicane. For all I care, they're going to get a penalty anyway.
I do a bit. There are some stances in this championship.
It would be funny to see during a race, though, if someone did do that. And I'm not endorsing this in any way, however...
Yeah,
However,
lovely caveat. Yes, carry on.
yes,
Like,
it would
It
be
would be funny.
quite interesting to see how that would be handled. To be fair, I think that would be an instant DQ if you,
Yes, it
especially
would.
if you took someone out.
And I'd be complaining about it until I was blue in the teeth. Luca Gray is out on track in warm-up. We're just watching him go around the final couple of corners now. And this, I think he's basically holding us all up because most of the other drivers, yes, everyone else is in the pit lane. So Luca Gray is the person preventing the session going to the next session, which is race. And we will put our race hats back on. Mine says race and has a checkerboard finish on it.
Oh, mine has a black flag.
Oh, fair. Yeah, that makes sense. And we will look forward to the start of race 1 here. I have to say, last time we were commentating 2 weeks ago, I asked you who you thought might win, and I said something different, and
We were not right.
this time I think it might be slightly easier.
Yeah, I wouldn't be placing any bets, but
Why not?
I
You
think
wouldn't get
I'd
very good
win.
odds.
Yeah, it would be like 1-1 Jesse Latterman.
Yeah. 1 to 32. It's like a Max Verstappen betting odds. Have you seen those, by the way? They're crazy.
No.
Yes. Latin, I think, probably will win this race. I
Probably.
think Taras would probably be second. But we don't know. We've just seen their 1 lap pace.
Yeah, now they just have to do 1 lap 13 times over.
If only it was that simple. If racing was that simple, Alex. Very good. They just have to do 1 lap 13 times over. I'm going to tell my drivers that in Super League. You got to do 60 laps. It's just 1 lap 60 times over. Oh, that's funny. But anyway, so the grid. Well, we're waiting for them to go on the formation lap, which is now. We are led away by Latin, and it is a formation lap. That's why he's wiggling left to right. We will go through the starting grid now. So, P1 for Apex Grand Prix is Latin, with Taras, his teammate, behind him. Row 2 is Massimiliano Riboli and Mateusz Majka leading game. Third row of the grid sees James Knox making his debut for RNG and Patrick Magnussen, with Mikhail Tuamala and Yunus Karwala behind them in 7th and 8th position. Noah Tuamala and Magnus Ockenhaug round out the top 10, with Filip Chavinsky and Bobby Bakuinov for Hook Performance Engineering in P12. 13th is Mateusz Sokolowski and Domenico Scarpelli in 14th position, with 15th going to Josh Dexter and Dan Hutt in 16th. Row 9 is Craig Patterson and Luca Gray, and Oliver Sharker and Tom Parker rounding out the top 20. 21st is Excelion's Florian Haase, with Joe Gillett for Hunter Birch in 22nd, Maxi Giesinger for 01 in 23rd, and Nick Cowper for Friesland in 24th. 25th is Mano Manikandan, Ewan Ditch behind him in 26th. 27th is Tom Dillon, Hilo Vicentievich in 28th. 29th position goes to Bjorn Golder, David Junt in 30th. That's why Mike Bell was so far down in quali, because he is 31st, and presumably there's a reason for that, and I've forgotten what it is. Penalty?
I think he had a 1 place, yeah.
Interesting. I'm going to check. Talk amongst yourselves. I'm just going to check exactly what he did wrong.
Yeah, that would be good to know. I'm actually going to download the document myself so I can look at that.
You got a 5-place grid penalty for contact with Dan Hutt.
Right, and that's what happens when you finish outside the points and you don't get a time penalty, you get a grid pace drop.
Yes, correct. And so obviously, okay, yeah, fine. So Mike Bell starting at the back of the field. Smile power. Right, the field make their way through turn 8,426 on the Jeddah circuit and head towards the grid. The drivers at the front will have warmed their tyres up nicely. Everyone at the back will have fresher, warmer tyres as they get to the grid slots.
I thought that was 8,427.
There's a lot of corners here. So on the left of the screen we have Larton, and on the right is Taras, both for Apex. Behind them on the right is Micah, and we are waiting for the lights to come on, and here they are. So there's 5 red lights, and then they go out, and then we get started, and race 1 at Jeddah is underway, and Larton does get a good getaway. Taras goes straight in behind him, and they head into turn 1, not line astern. Micah's got a bit sideways as they go through turn 2, and there's a spinner, and there's lots of contact going on. That is the cap clay. Oh, and there's further contact further back. I hope that's not ended up in disaster. It looks like it might.
Oh, it has.
There's a huge crash further back. Yeah, that's a lot of cars damaged, and that's the problem with walls on a street track. There is nowhere to go, and if you hit one, you bounce back into the field. But unfortunately, Tuamala then was a victim at the first set of corners. Who's that? Already dropping down the field as well.
Area. I think that's Philip Savinsky.
It could well be. Yeah, it was certainly one of the those 2 cars who's Fractioneras, aren't they? Yes. So one of those 2. But Tuamela there behind his teammate Magnussen for KD86. Great getaway for the 2 leaders, and behind them, Chaos.
Yeah, I think that was a poor start from someone in Mihail Vicentovic is out of the race, but I don't think that Tuamala made a correct choice there. I think he went on the throttle for no reason, really, other than to take a few other drivers out. That's going to be looked at. I'm not saying it's malicious, but I think that's going to be looked at after the race. And
yes, definitely. I don't know if he got tapped. I was looking elsewhere on the screen. I don't know if he got slight contact through turn 2 or not. So I don't know. I don't want to necessarily say, but it did look like he stayed on the throttle a little longer. I do agree with that. But yes, the 2 leaders already pulling out a huge gap. There's a lot of gaps further back as well. But what this does do, it shakes up the grid a bit. James knocks down in P19, by the way, from his lofty grid position. Here's Luca Gray looking to overtake using the slipstream on Vakuinov, and in fact, he is going to go side by side into turn 1. And Vakuinov does give him room. They bash wheels a little bit, but Luca Gray moves himself up into P14.
I think that's probably one of the cleaner moves we're probably going to see through turn 1 today, as Magnus Ockenhaug also gets past Matusz Sokolowski. The optimal past the Friesland Racing, and this is our race 2 winner in Australia, down in P18, fighting Mike Bell. What a start!
Wait, what? 17. So he must be up 15 positions. Let's have a look at that graphic. That'd be interesting to see. There's a couple of other movers in there as well. As I said, James knocks down 14. Yeah, but Bell at 14 positions. Chavinsky obviously is out, or at least is he out? No, he's still circulating, but he's down a lot of positions. It's only, in fact, Vincentievich is out. He's the only driver that's DNF'd from that chaos on lap 1. But yeah, further up, Tuamela and Ockenhaug, Sokolowski, Scarpelli, they're all benefiting from that chaos on lap 1.
Yeah, and we just saw James Knox try and go for a move on the inside in turn 22 on Tom Parker, not able to make it materialize. But Jesse Latinen, after just 2 laps, 1.7 seconds away from his teammate, and Matusz Micah also 1.2 behind as Knox is going to try for it again, but this time around the outside of Tom Parker. This is not a move you see that often, but he's not going to make it stick. But this is a fight.
Uh-oh. Yeah, no, some contact was inevitable there, I'm afraid. When you go 3 wide into turn 1, you just don't know where anyone is. It's almost impossible to get through there, but they actually all survive. So Magnussen stays in P4. In fact, he's moved up to P4, right? But yeah, Magnussen P4. So Tuamela P5, Ribley down to 6th.
Yeah, like I said, we're not going to have a clean turn 1 until about lap 4, it seems. Not clean for those 3 guys going 3 wide. It's just general racing knowledge that you probably shouldn't be pushing as hard when you're 3 wide, but now the fight is going to be focused on getting towards Matusz Majka for the sort of final podium position. We've got a yellow in sector 1.
Yeah, someone's dropping down the field. Mike Bell is... Oh, Tom Dillon is unfortunately out of the race now. So that is who that was. Bell and Knox just swapped positions, I believe. So maybe James Knox was involved. I don't really see what. Obviously, we're just looking at Magnussen right now. This little battle for P4. But as you say, Lartnen's just escaped.
Yeah, he's not calming down, and I think this is going to be a replay of lap 1. This is Tuamala.
Yes, did he get tapped? This is my question into P2, into turn 2. It looked like he might have just got a little bit. Okay. I think it's contact. Yeah, I think it's contact on on his outside that actually caused that, and then further back, yeah, we saw the chaos rain down further back. But I think he spins off the side of one of the.
That will be
wow, look at the knock. Yeah,
he just had to sit into him.
Yeah. Well, I'm not surprised with that amount of aggressive turning from Tuamala. Not quite sure about that. But behind that was this nonsense, and James Knox has already got the damage he's got, unfortunately. He's got to carry that for the rest of the race as well. Oh my
and then
goodness.
More. And that's how Mike Bell got up into P17.
Yeah, that's Bell in front of us, isn't it?
Yes. So that is impressive. Also, horrible that 14 drivers, and this should give us probably the best perspective. I'm going to get Josh Dexter. It's contact into turn 1. And now that is really disappointing. And it's just a chain reaction from Tuamala. And yeah. And what happened behind us still is what I need to know, because that's...
Well, we're about to find out what happened to... Yeah, here's James Knox. So what happened to Knox then? He must have just collected Tuamala, I guess. Well, this will be perfect. What happened to Tuamala? Yeah, he just bounces off the... oh dear, and then Knox smashed from behind as well.
And then we're just not rejoining properly, guys. And yeah, there's nothing Knox can do there.
Yeah, that's just chaos from behind him, unfortunately. Right, let's get back to live action if we can, because they're Magnussen, Tuamala, and Ribbley are still battling away on track. Here's Sokolovsky, look, with a slipstream directly behind Scarpelli, who's driving for the GPVWC Academy team. And Sokolovsky not able to do it in the final corner, but this is actually a better opportunity anyway. Behind him, Tuamala with that damage has work to do. Taras is reeling in, well, I'd say that. He's 3/10 faster on that last lap than Lartnen, as Sokolovsky goes to the outside into turn 1, which is a reasonable place to put your car. Bounces across the curb a little bit, but that's fine.
Wow.
It's very sideways on the exit. A lot of oversteer, but makes that move.
Yeah, he didn't have much space on the outside there. And great defending by Domenico Scarpelli. And is that Florian Haase dropping back now?
Where is he? 21st.
No, that's the close fight between Tom Parker and himself.
Yeah, they're just side by side on track currently. Scarpelli is looking to get back in front of Sokolovsky, in front of him if he can. Taras is now... Okay, he's definitely quicker right now. He's 3/10 quicker in the... Well, 2/10 quicker in the first sector alone on this lap, and he's set a purple sector. So it's not all over, actually, at the front.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see a good battle. We're not quite at quali times in Sector 1 just yet, but that is going to be good by Overtaking. And we've got another yellow flag, and I honestly dread to think Tom Parker is out.
Yep, Tom Parker is out, DNF in P22. You can see him right now. He will drop all the way down. So our race 2 winner at Australia is out. Let's see if we can find out what happened to him. He's all alone. So this will be interesting.
Oh no! Do it,
Tom. So there is a bump in the middle of that corner, and if you hook the curb wrong, or if you've got the ride height too low, it can do that to you. We will see that, I would say, a lot more in the championships above this one. It is easily done. and something that you have to be mindful of when setting up the car, which is annoying. It's frustrating because the rest of the track is sort of, you want it as low as possible, the ride height, for the downforce, but that corner and turn 1 especially, turn 1, 2, there are bumps on the track, and it can cause the car to do that.
And also, a lot of these drivers just seem to be throwing it into the corners instead of sort of trying to control their car. And I'm aware that's how you have to drive it, but it's not going to be great in the first laps of the race to be pushing this hard unless you're the likes of Jase Lassinen or Mateusz Majka, who is currently pushing quite harshly, actually, to try and catch up to Oliver Taras in P2 and stay ahead of Patrick Magnusson. But
Taras has had a really bad first sector. It's some sort of track limits violation, unfortunately, has meant he's lost 0.8 of a second to his teammates. So that initial gain that he was making is now no longer, which is a shame for the overall race. But nevertheless, Apex have got this well and truly under control.
Yeah, and Purple in Sector 2. And this is a battle that's sort of ended as quickly as it started. And,
yeah, Golda running wide there and sort of couldn't really do anything but rejoin where he did, but Cowper, was up to the task. Knox, with his very bent steering, is doing the best he can. You can see the car actually crabbing down the straight as he goes into the final corner. It's pointing a long way to the right, which is actually the wrong way for this track, it being anti-clockwise. Mike Bell in P18 doing Mike Bell things.
Yeah, I mean, he should be very happy to go from 31st up to 18th. Yeah, and this is the battle between Scarpelli and Sokolowski. Scarpelli, we just saw it, we didn't just see it happen. Scarpelli got past Sokolowski, presumably into turn 1, but that mistake is not going to be helping him.
They both did a little wiggle. I don't know if you saw that. They both did a little wiggle at the steering wheel into turn 3 then. I wonder if there was a little bit of contact or something in turn 1 and 2, that because they sort of communicated via steering wheel then. I don't know if you saw that. But that was interesting. Tuamala behind them with damage as well is clinging on. Mike Bell, if he sticks around, could end up in the top 15 and might get a lucky reverse grid. So keep an eye on that. It's the reverse is up to P15. Okay. Where's the start from? Is it what's the 10th? Is it 10 to 15? Yeah. So so anywhere in that region you could be on pole. So Tuamala clinging onto 10. Bell might be lucky.
Yeah, and I think we're definitely missing out on a few retirements with Tuamala. That damage seems to be really hurting him, but also that mistake is going to hurt Sokolowski. And this is going to put Tuamala right on the back of Sokolowski. And I think he's looking for a move around the outside at turn 24. That's not going to happen. Or turn 27, sorry. There's so many of them. And, but he's still going to try it. And shut down. And Latin, I think he needs to calm down. Purple sector 1 and purple lap 50.6.
Yeah, he's just put the hammer down and gapped Taras, who's now best part 3 seconds behind. Tuamala, I feel like he was waiting for this straight for the slipstream. 3 wide into turn 1. Here we go. Yeah, wisely backed off there by who is that? So that's Patterson there and he is an experienced driver. He knows not to put his car where it doesn't belong there. So well done from Craig Patterson. The 2 priority 1s, indistinguishable from that sort of range. Sorry about that. But where is Carvalho actually? He was
very far back.
P23 right now. Yeah, he was further up, so obviously caught up in that lap 1 incident. But yeah, wise from Patterson, and also good driving from Tuamala as well. He waited for the slipstream for the start-finish straight, I think. Kept putting his car on the outside, as you said, in that last sector, and got by into turn 1.
Yeah, it's about the exit in the final corner. It's not always about being, the fastest through it. And I think Tuamala was actually really smart there. He forced Sokolowski to defend, and that put him in a not so optimal line to get the better exit. Mm-hmm. And we saw that sort of benefiting him into turn 1 as Kuiper comes into the pits comes into the pits to serve his drive-through penalty.
Yeah.
And yeah, but Sokolowski not giving up onto Amala, and I think it's going to be the same story this time around with the bad exit out of turn 22. Sokolowski on the back of Tuamala. I think he's going to go for it down the inside.
You can clearly see Tuamala has got a very wide line there so that he can have the slipstream down the start-finish straight to swap back over. Ribley is very close to Tuamela as well as they head towards turn 1. I'd love to see what's happening up there as well, but here comes... so Ribley not got an overlap. Further back then, Tuamala, this time not as alongside as he was before, but he should be able to go around the outside in turn 1 and hold that position into turn 2, and he does so. Is he going to give him room on the exit? He does. So Sokolowski comes back at him, and this is great driving from these two. Really thoughtful as well. They're really thinking about it, and this time Sokolowski maintains that position and is through into P9. So keep an eye on these two through the last 4 laps. It's going to be very interesting as to see who comes out on top of that little squabble. Ribley is very close to Tuamela, by the way, for P5. That is... and Cowper has another penalty, misses sped in the pit lane, which is unfortunate for him. But yes, look at this battle going on here. So Ribley in the Optiminal versus Tuamela in the KV86 powerhouse machine. And they've been close for a good few laps.
Yeah, but that seems to be the story of this race. Close, but because of the slipstream, not really able to properly overtake. I see that, but Sokolowski is sort of gapped now to Amala, not to Amela, as we are currently watching. But yeah, who went wide just now?
I think that was Ockenhaug, yeah, but he got away with it. He did look like he was wall bound and then just at the last second gathered it up. So yeah, Ockenhaug is just be careful. He literally has 5 seconds behind him. There's no reason for him to be pushing quite that hard. He's not going to pick up any scraps in front of him unless there's something serious happens. So so here comes okay, we're going to look at Gray versus Sharka then here for P12, so the 12th position. This is another one where you just get that exit speed, and in front of them Tuamala's lining up Sokolowski as well. Not close enough for Ribley. He just doesn't have the straight line speed quite to get by Tuamala, does he?
No, but Tuamala lining up Sokolowski. I doubt he's going to go for the move from that far back. It would be interesting to see, but this is Luca Gray, Nova Sharka. He's going to try it around the outside through turn 2, but they're going to stay side by side. But Sharka ahead with the better exit, but Joshua Dexter's also going to try and capitalize on this now. But we're not going to see many overtakes through here. Sort of a one-line section, and Rivoli has fallen off the back of Tuamala further ahead. So that battle seems to have ended for now, and Luca Gray falling off the back of Oliver Sharka. Josh Dexter with a penalty. Yeah,
there's clearly some track limit infringements again happening in this championship. People just need to be a little bit more careful, and it literally tells you, as Ribley hits the wall, that might put an end to his charge for P5. But people just need to be a bit more careful, don't they? I mean, it's, it tells you when you go off track how many points you're likely to pick up, and the score. It reminds you not to do it again, and people are not doing that.
My Discord just glitched completely. I did not hear. Yeah, with that penalty on the back of Luca Gray. But yeah, I agree with you completely. These drivers do need to just be more careful, especially with the track limits and around. It's not just an interesting slipstream strategy for Toby backing off, but he's going to try and get up to Luca Gray as we got to Tuamala with Craig Patterson. On the back of Tuamala should sort of heat up as we get to the second sector of the track, but that's going to end pretty quick. No! 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 Oh! Stop!
Okay, I hope it's not just me, but I think a lot of Discord issues going on here currently. I do apologise if that's affecting the broadcast in any way, but Sokolovsky round and unfortunately has dropped all the way back down the field.
Yeah. I just hear your scream sort of in segments.
Same. I heard yours in segments. I'm gonna watch this back. I don't know if it's a me issue or if it's an issue.
It's both of us. It's Discord at the minute.
It's not an ish me. It's an ish us. Yes. Well, okay. Well, we all watched Sokolovsky go backwards. Hopefully, you can hear us all now in non-robot terms. Maybe it was fine on the broadcast, and we're just.
No, it was not. I'm looking at the chat. It's
okay. Sorry, guys. Nothing we could do. I thought maybe it was our internet, plural, but I don't think so. I don't know how.
Makes a move.
I don't know how we're coming across now. Patterson moves up to P9. Hopefully it's all fixed. And passed to Amala. Behind them, Vakuinov and Luca Gray side by side. And Vakuinov goes through. So P12 for him. Mike Bell is P17. Sokolovsky in front of him in 16th after that spin. But that means Johan Dix is currently in prime position for that reverse grid. It can be anywhere from 10th to 15th, so keep an eye out for that. It would be amazing if James Knox, after all of that damage, gets pole position on that reverse grid, to be fair.
Yeah, that would be a perfect sort of love story with FS2. And also, Johan Dix was quite far down in qualifying. He's benefited just as well as Mike Bell from the incidents we saw on lap 1. But Luca Gray is going to be hunting down Bobby Vakanov, who is in the wall. And I hope that wasn't commentator's curse that I'd put on Bobby Vakanov, but he does not have a great track history, literally, with Jeddah. He's been in the wall many times, and I don't know who is dropping back there. Oh no! Let's look at Gray off as well. What is happening?
No one wants that pole position today.
It seems not, and that's Dix now going to be up into P13. These people are just making mistakes. What's happened here?
It's the end of the race and they're all running out of tyres. This is what I was wondering if that might happen. I think that the rears are just going for everyone. So this is what happened to Mike Bell then. Down the outside.
That's poor.
It is. It is, especially from someone as experienced as Mike. I think he's just turned in there. And in fact, he got a penalty at the first round for exactly that. This is what happened to Luca Gray, all on his own.
Yeah.
Let's have a look.
Great,
yeah, the back end's going. Yeah, basically, they've all run out of rears. That's what's going on here. There's some tyre wear at play, and I did wonder if this might happen. The same actually has happened here to Vakuinov, I would say. I don't think he hit the wall. Yeah, just Vakuinov. The rear is... Yeah, the rear's just going on them.
Oh, he's very lucky to have a tyre left.
Yeah, he is. That. Yeah, I agree. He's crabbing his way to the pit lane now, but with no front wing. But that takes him completely out of contention. Unfortunately, it's going to be a long pit stop to repair. But we have to say congratulations to Jesse Lahtinen. He has done an exceptional job from P1 on the grid, and Apex Grand Prix are going to take their first 1-2 of the season. I suspect we might be saying that a couple more times this season. But yeah, Lahtinen has done a fantastic job. He comes down the start-finish straight to finish the final lap and take victory at the first race here at Jeddah. He needs to be careful to get through turn 1, not celebrate too hard and break his car. But well done, Lahtinen. Oliver Taras P2, and Micah's going to come through in P3 for Reading Game. 4th position goes to Magnussen with his teammate Tuomela behind him. Ribbley and Ockenhaug 6th and 7th for Optimal. Scarpelli on his debut for GPVWC Academy is in P8. Craig Patson 9th and Oliver Sharker 10th. We're just seeing him cross the start finish line now. Tuamala 11th position, and James Knox, after all of that, is going to be P12. Jörn Dix P13, Luca Gray 14th, and David Junt from the back of the field takes the final points position in 15th. And there is Vakuinov, who needs to pit, by the way, or else he will. Oh, he did pit. Oh, my bad.
No, he hasn't. What?
Well, the Vincent gut-shaped
Okay.
voice in our ear just said he pitted, and then we watched him come round and he had no front wing. So, obviously didn't pit. He needs to box, or else he will be disqualified. You can't drive around with a wingless car. And Bobby has not done so.
I actually know. We had an issue. We had the same thing actually last year here at Jeddah, and they didn't get disqualified then. If I remember correctly.
Yeah, so I think it has to be reported.
It was. So.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hey, I need to brush up on this regulation.
Wait,
I did know it.
We're getting shown a replay of Toby.
Okay, so we were all right. Vincent said he pitted, and he did.
Did he? Yes.
How long for?
I imagine he turned repair damage off.
He definitely repaired, and I would say this: R-Factor 2 can be fun. By fun, I mean not show you what has actually been done to the car, and it may or may not have a wing or not. Sometimes, I thought they'd fix that. Obviously not. I suspect he fixed his front wing, and we just can't tell. Imagine he had a front wing, and imagine the last minute just didn't happen.
A lot of things are just not right here.
I'll tell you what is right. Lartnan definitely was going to win that race, and he did. So Apex Grand Prix take a victory at Jeddah in race 1. Oliver Taras P2, Micah rounding out the podium. I'll let you say the rest of the names.
P4 Patrick Magnussen, P5 Noah Tuamala, P6 Oh Jesus Christ, Massimiliano Rivoli, P6 Magnus Ockenhaug, P7 Domenico Scarpelli, P8 Craig Patterson, P9 Oliver Sharker, P01 Esports, P10 P11 Michael Tuamala, and James Knox in P12, P13 John Dix and Luca Gray after a spin in P14. David Junt from the back of the field in P15. Hopefully a pole for him after the reverse grid. Joshua Dexter in P16. Mike Bell, P17. Florian Haase, P18. And Maxi Geisinger in P19 with Philip Savinsky, P20. In P21, Jonas Karala and Bobby Vakuinov behind him in P22, followed by Dan Hutt, his teammate and team boss, Mano Kandan for ST Racing in P24, and Joe Gillett in P25. Björn Golda in P26, and Matusz Sokolowski and Nick Kuiper in P27 and P28. Tom Parker, Tom Dillon, and Mihailo Vincentovic all did not finish, but get P29.
I'll tell you what,
30
points
and
for
30.
effort. Points for effort, Alex.
Yes.
We'll have to practice Vicentievich after.
Yes. We'll do some practice.
That's very hard, Vicentievich. And it's Jörn Dix. He'll be very cross if you called him John.
I didn't say Jorn, I don't think.
We can watch that back. Vincent. Okay. Well, anyway, so thank you for watching race 1. Apologies for the glitchy commentary halfway through. There was literally nothing we could do. That was a Discord problem. The comments in there. I'm absolutely giggling away whilst Alex read the rest of the results out, because the comments in the YouTube chat are amazing. Beep boop. It's absolutely killed me. We got bit laggy, beep boop, commentators spitting facts.
W commentary, these guys know what they're talking about.
Can't believe he is saying this. Disgrace. I tell you what, guys, I'm glad you took it well. Thank you so much, because it was quite laggy. I can't wait to watch this back. It must have been very funny. Thanks, guys. That's kept me entertained. Please keep the comments coming on YouTube chat. You can also join our Discord and comment on the races as you see fit. I can't tell. I had to mute my mic's been muted. I've been absolutely howling. I'm not gonna lie. Anyway, Apex Grand Prix Taker 1 and 2. I'm glad I'm doing FS2 this year. I seem to join the banter series this season. Last year it was SL2, and there was some very questionable driving in that. There's been questionable driving tonight, but it is FS2, so you have to take it with a little pinch of salt. So let's find out from Chris Williamson what the reverse grid is. If everyone doesn't know who Chris Williamson is, shame on you. He is an exceptional man to the GPVWC community. He does pretty much all of the work behind the scenes in terms of preparing the tracks, the mods. He also directs every race, makes sure it all runs smoothly. Does so much admin work, and we never really talk about it. But he's a superstar. And I'm hoping that we have a result on the reverse grid, which I will ask him now. Which he does randomly using a random number generator, so it is fair. It's between 10
Should we do our reverse grid prediction?
Reverse grid prediction?
Yes.
Okay, it'll be the Yerndich.
That's P13, correct?
Yes.
I'm gonna go for P15. I want to see David Yunt on pole.
David Yunt, yes. That would be fun. He actually is a very talented driver, David Yunt. He just doesn't put the practice in that he used to back in the day. Turns up for a bit of fun. That's why he could. Reverse grid number is 10. Oliver Sharko is on pole. I think it was 10 last time.
It was.
So Oliver Sharko for 01 Esports is going to be in pole position, which is well, that's going to be very interesting to watch. Craig Paston then starts P2, Scarpelli P3. We could easily see Scarpelli. He had decent pace, by the way. Easily see him compete. I have to say, if I was to predict a race 2 result, Alex, I would say the 2 Apex cars can make their way through.
Yeah. I wouldn't say you're particularly wrong. I think we're going to see Taras probably P3, and Latanen probably with the pace he has, especially during race 1. That was an amazing lights the flag. I should not. Lights the flag victory. Say.
Nice. Yes, a lights to flag victory. There are tongue twisters all over the place here, to be fair. But yeah, very good. Very good. Right, we're gonna have a little tiny little one break, so that we can replenish fluid, etc. Keep an eye out for when we come back. It'll be a couple of minutes. Welcome back, everybody. Hopefully, we have 0 sound issues in race 2. But more importantly, that we have a nice clean race and not the chaos of lap 1 that we had in race 1. But this is round 2 of a 16 round, therefore 32 race championship. And in terms of track layout, this is a prime example of 32 cars into one turn don't go, and it is one of those tracks with walls as well, so a little bit of slack can be cut, but nevertheless, hopefully we have a nice clean start to the next race. Alex, what's your prediction?
To be honest, it could go anyway at this point, with the Apex cars being in the middle of the grid. We sort of saw what happened at the middle of the grid in race 1, and I really don't think it's going to be any better in race 2, to be totally honest with you. Some drivers might be more warmed up, but we also saw drivers at the back now in the middle, so this could be very interesting. So I won't say it's exactly 1-to-1 odds for Yase Latin like it was in race 1. But yeah, I'll be... Let me get the results up so I can look at them.
It's the longest answer I've ever heard to this question.
Yes, I'm gonna go with
okay, I'll be more... Okay, that was... Okay, that was very... Okay, fine. I'm happy with that, actually. I think Scarpelli could be a good shout. I'm going to go Tormella. From P, they will be 6th in the grid. Because for no other reason than he's in the middle of the reverse grid. So we'll see. But yes, next time I'll be more specific. I'll say, who do you think will run race 2 rather than give you an open-ended, what's your prediction? But yes, okay, cool. We'll keep an eye out on those two. Latin obviously had loads of pace in race 1, as did Taras. So they had a good half a second on everyone else. It's just whether they can use it, starting back in 9th and 10th. That's the big question, I think.
I'm sure they will. Whether they get through turn 1 or not, that's a completely different question. I've been reading the Discord chat in the interim. You should definitely join it, by the way. I think the link's in the description somewhere. Yeah, it is. You should join. There's been... I believe Tom Dillon was threatening to forget how to use his throttle pedal and come off of it. So this could be very interesting into turn 1.
Okay. Tom Dillon. Very fun. Yes, you're absolutely right. There's some chaos going on in here. Right, the grid for race 2 then. As leading them away is our pole sitter Oliver Sharker for 0-1. Craig Patterson behind him for priority 1 esports. Domenico Scarpelli for GPVWC Academy, and Magnus Ockenhau for Optiminal 4th. 5th position is Ribley with Noah Tormella in 6th place, Magnussen and Micah on row 4. Row 5 is Taras and Latinum with row 6 going to Tuamala and James Knox. Row 7, Jörn Dix for Excellium, and 14th position is Luke Gray with 15th going to David Yunt and Josh Dexter in 16th. 17th is Mike Bell, Florian Arza in 18th with Maxi Giesinger and Philip Chavinsky 19th and 20th. 21st position for priority 1 esports is Yunus Karala with Bobby Vakuinov for Hut Performance Engineering in 22nd. His teammate Dan Hutt in 23rd with Mano Manikandan in 24th. 25th goes to Joe Gillett and Björn Golder in 26th with Sokolowski after that spin in 27th, and Kauper, his teammate for Frisland, behind him in 28th. Tom Parker is 29th. Tom Dillon 30th. Sentievich is 31st. And we have a second driver for Hunter Birch. It's Caroline Harvig, who I hope has done some laps around this track, or that might be interesting to say the least.
That's why it's always ideal to start from the back if you haven't done that many laps, because you can copy the person in front of you, unless they go into the wall, and then don't copy the person in front of you.
Maybe in some series,
NASCAR? Great idea.
Yeah. So as the field file their way through the final turn, which is a very fun tongue twister if you want to practice that one, people at home, we round up the grid, and Harvick is our latest entry to FS2 at the back. Hopefully they've got a license, as Mike Teichmann found out at round 1 you do have to have a license in order to drive at GPVWC. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, that's it's going to be an interesting race too. That's for sure. The final cars approaching the back of the grid now, and I think we're about to see a very interesting race get away. On the left, Oliver Schaka. On the right, I believe, is Craig Patterson.
Yep, here we go. Here comes the lights. So 5 lights are on, and now they are not, and away we go. Patterson on the right then gets a great launch, actually. He's going to go side by side if he can into turn 1 with Shark, and dives down the inside there, going through turn 2 still side by side. It's 2 abreast behind them as well, but Sharka does hold on to that lead, and in 3rd position Scarpelli does hold on to that position as well. The 2 Optiminals behind him battling away. It's relatively clean this time round. Tuamela looks like he was side by side further back. I couldn't see who that was with necessarily. He was still there, actually. Is that Micah? It must be in the top 10. So Micah and either Tuamela or his teammate. I can't tell them apart so easily, but Micah in P7. So yeah, so Micah in P7 then. And in front of him is Tuamela, behind him Magnussen. Great getaway though for Sharka alongside Patterson. Managed to hold on to that position through T1 and 2.
Mike Bell is now down in 32nd with Florian Hassa. So
yeah,
that's not gone well for them.
Yeah, it must have been some contact in that first couple of corners, but Sharka leads the field then as they flow through this winding section of straight, in inverted commas, and head towards the braking zone. And it is still line astern for everyone. They're waiting for that. Oh, it's very close. Gets Ockenhaug to the back of Scarpelli. He was almost pushing him through the corner then, as we head into the final section of flat out running. I'm not going to call it a straight as we head towards the final turn. Ockenhaug there. Patterson side by side then with Scarpelli. It's allowing Sharka to get away, and we're battling away towards the final corner. Almost 3 wide in the background. That's Micah alongside Magnussen. Magnussen looks like he's got the better of him. No, Micah holds on as they head through the final corner, and on for the first time then, it's Sharka leading from Patterson, Scarpelli, Ockenhaug, Ribbley and Tuamela, the top 6.
It's closer than we've seen before, and this is Domenico Scarpelli around the outside with Magnus Ockenhaug on the inside. They've both got past Craig Patterson, and Ockenhaug.
No! Oh no, there's contact. They've managed to all straighten themselves out. Please hold on to that. That's Micah involved as well. Micah, Scarpelli, Patterson, they were all involved in that. And Taras, unfortunately, has been caught up in it as well. And now the whole field is compressed. There's cars everywhere as James Knox threads his way through some damaged vehicles on the right-hand side.
Yeah, and Micah down in P13 now. And he's not going to be happy about that. And there's definitely going to be some penalties, but this is Lasse Lahtinen now on the outside of Patrick Magnussen. I doubt he's going to fight this that much, but we've still got a yellow in sector 1. But Magnussen actually staying ahead of Lasse Lahtinen, but I doubt that's going to last very long as we head onto sort of the flat out curve that I will call it myself. Yeah, that's just, it's disappointing to see how many drivers are just getting involved in needless contact so early on in the race. We've got another yellow in sector 2.
Yeah, it's needless is exactly the right word, as Patterson looks like he's side by side still with Tuamela, who's going to make his way through. Oh, sideways! That looked like it was that Tuamala? It was Tuamala dropping down the field, and yeah, there is been some chaos in race 2. There always is, but Tuamala he's lost loads of positions. I wonder if he got collected afterwards. Yeah, all the way down to P20, look.
Yeah, and Tom Dillon with a penalty, and Mihailo Vincentjevic DNF'd. I assume he was the yellow in sector 2, but this is going to back the field up, and obviously it's great racing, but these contacts so early on in a race, it's just so bad. And Patterson, who was in P2 at the start of that fight, now down in P10, and that's just mightily disappointing.
Well, they're side by side further back as they head through turn 1 and 2. That looks like Jörn Dix and Luca Gray side by side, yes. So heading through turn 1 and 2. And now into turn 3. They're still there. That's going to end in tears if they're not careful.
There they are.
Tears, it has not quite ended in, but it was close. That is, yeah, as you say, it's Patterson's dropped down a long way. And the advantage of Vicentijevic being DNF is that you don't have to say his name again.
I might if you do that to me at the end of the race. But this is very close battling. Maxi Geisinger just surrounded by cars, and this Manakandan on the inside. He's going to make that stick, and I think the Fries line is going to go for it as well. But that's 3 wide. It's just not going to work. Heading up here, but Manakandan makes a great move. The P20 on Maxi Geisinger, but this is so close. Thanks to that incident, and everyone's just bunched together, and further up, Lattinen ahead of Magnussen.
Yeah, he just got through as well. Lattinen looking very strong, and Taurus has recovered to 7th as well, by the way, so keep an eye. Actually, Lattinen could easily, who's that wide? That looks like one of the HBEs. It's Dan Hutt, is actually team owner, who was wide there. I don't know if he recovered onto track safely or not. It's one of those rejoins that you've got to be super careful of. Look at where Tomala is as well. He's going to be super unhappy with that.
And Riboldi passed Ockenhaug, the P2, but that battle's still going as Oliver Schaka bolsters his lead thanks to the battling behind him, and he's quite comfortable now after 4 laps, 3.7 seconds. And I think
Magnussen's got by Latin, and there's some confusion further up. I could see in the foreground of the image, background of the image. I always get them confused. There was something going on. Latin and Magnussen side by side in turn 1 and 2.
Oh dear. That was one of the 0-1 esports, I think, that was spun round at the back there. And
who would that be then? So that would be because
Maxi Geisinger.
There would be, yeah, exactly. And 29th position now for Giesinger. So Lattinen then up to P4, looking still strong pace-wise, but the gap that Schaka has pulled out is huge. 3 seconds in 4 laps is massive, and that's going to be tricky to catch back up again, actually, isn't it?
Yeah, it's now at 4 seconds as well, but I imagine that's corner difference. But Lattinen isn't going to make it easy for the 2 Optimals in P3 and P2, and Taras further back, now past Noah Tuamela. I don't know how recently that happened, but also Domenico Scarpelli is also going to go for it on Noah Tuamela further back. But Lattinen all over the back of Magnus Ockenhaug, heading towards the final corner on this sort of squiggly line.
Not a straight. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Lattinen is doing the same thing that Tuamala did. He's running right around the outside, making them defend. Then he's going to cut back and pick up the slipstream down into turn 1 and make the move. It's very clever. I like it a lot. So Lattinen, we know he has a small straight lining speed advantage from qualifying. Whether or not you can change the wing levels into race 2, of course. No longer in Park Ferme, but we do know he did set the car up originally with straight line speed in mind. He wasn't able to make the move there. I have a feeling Ribbley was giving a slipstream to Ockenhaug and not to Lattinen, which is very clever. Oh my goodness.
This is not going to end well.
It might. It might.
Wow.
It has. Look at that. Bear in mind we're battling away for the last point here, because at the front of this gaggle of cars is Chavinsky, who's in 14th position, and point to go down to P15 in race 2. Oh goodness, look at this late defending going on. And in fact, Ockenhaug is, look, he's massively defending, and Ribbley's escaped. So this is a bit of a tactic going on here, I think.
But now it's Taras and Magnussen as well on the back of them. So if Lattinen gets past him here, it's going to just benefit everybody behind Ockenhaug. So I don't know why he'd want to back up Lattinen. And Lattinen with his straight line speed is now just going to make the move heading towards turn 22, and quite smart of Ockenhaug to back out of that. But now Taras and Magnussen right on the back of Ockenhaug, and Taras is right on the back of Magnussen. This could be 3 wide into the final corner if we're not careful.
This is going to be dicey as they head into the final corner. Are they going to fall back in line and try and slipstream, or are they going to go side by side? Nope, they're going to go side by side. Taras is going to come out of this on top here. So Taras is going to definitely slipstream at least one of them. He's the only one with slipstream. He's going to have the overlap. He's going to get a bit of a help from his teammate. Oh, banging wheels though as they go towards turn 1. So Magnussen now on the outside. He's going to have... Ooh, is he going to be sent on the inside? No, Ockenhaug thinks better of it. Taras actually sensibly stays behind. Very good driving actually from those 3, because that could have easily ended up in chaos, but didn't. And Ockenhaug thought better of diving right the way up the inside of Magnussen. And Taras backed out, so well done.
Mike Bell, Sokolowski, and Tom Parker out further back as well.
Oh, they were next to each other, weren't they? So, who were they? Sokolowski was next to Parker. I don't know what happened to Mike Bell.
Yeah.
So sorry, go on.
No, I don't understand how having so many DNFs so early on in a race, to be fair.
It's more likely to happen in race 2. You don't, if you're miles back and you know you're not going to score points, there's no point sticking it out because there's not a race 2 reverse grid / opportunity to pick up points. Personally, I think it's poor. I think you should carry on anyway. You never know what's going to happen, and you can already see there's going to be more DNFs as Ockenhaug is now going to lose that position to Taras. I would say he's not going to stay side by side through here. It's way too quick over the corner, and through goes Taras.
Yep. Quickly though.
Latin is making huge progress towards Ribley. He's absolutely gapped Magnussen. 1.8 seconds back is Magnussen. And Latin is looking extremely strong here. They've done something setup preparation-wise at Apex. And Taras looks strong as well, but Latin especially, he's absolutely... Like, he's reining in Ribley at several tenths a sector.
And there it is, 50.8, only 3 tenths slower, but Ockenhaug is going to come back at Taras. Taras holding on valiantly to the inside line, but Ockenhaug,
yeah, that's a bit deep.
Yeah,
a bit deep from Ockenhaug there. Took too much apex speed. This is Taras's corner now. I'd be very interested to see if... No, well, okay, fine. I don't
hate it.
It's technically legal what Ockenhaug did there, but it's very aggressive. He's fully alongside, so you can kind of dive over there, but it's... I don't know. It's lap 7, halfway through the race. He did dive across the apex there, and Taras is not best pleased with that. I suspect both have picked up a bit of damage from that.
Yeah, and an update on Mike Bell. Mike Bell pit. Sorry, he was not out. I just assumed after a sort of yellow and a bunch of cars going red on the timing screen, it's sort of easy to assume that that's just a retirement. But this is Latinen on the back of Raboli already. He is absolutely flying. I doubt he's going to make the move here, but he's going to look for it. Just fill up those mirrors. But this should be relatively easy for Latinen into the final corner.
What a drive. Latinen's been on his own planet this entire round. Taras has been kind of on the moon next to the planet, and everyone else is in a different solar system. It's been very, very impressive from Apex, and Latinen goes through before the final corner. Ribley will come back at him because of the slipstream, and in fact, Latinen was a bit wide through the final corner, so Ribley is going to make the move down into turn 1. The question is, does he have the straight line speed to get fully alongside as they head into the braking zone, or will Latinen hold on to that position? That's the big question. Is further back, there's some chaos going further back. So Latinen makes the move 3 wide into turn 1 here. This is not good, but Taras comes out on top of that particular one. Ockenhaug looked like he was just about to be either in the wall or very sideways. It looks like he's still right behind the other 2 cars, so got away with it. James Knox here with James Knox with Scarpelli. And in fact, Micah is right behind them as well. But yeah. In fact, James Knox has just picked up a penalty for something. So must have cut turn 2 or 3. I didn't know you could get a penalty cut in turn 3.
I don't think you can for turn 3. Turn 2, absolutely, but yeah.
Was he going to send that? Oh, he is. Ooh, hello. No, Micah's going to make that work. What a move.
Oh dear.
Oh no! Oh, yep. I've got my hands firmly over my head there. That was always going to happen. Just as soon as he tapped the wall there, and unfortunately, yeah, I think that was Scarpelli, wasn't it?
Yeah, just lost it on the outside.
Lost the rear. Patterson goes into him.
Nothing he can do.
We did get a bit of a hip and shoulder from Micah. Oh dear. Oh no. Oh dear. Oh no. Oh god.
This is scary to watch.
It's very scary. Oh goodness. Has everyone got by him? And Patterson does the right thing. Yeah, well done, Craig. That was the right thing to do. Tom Parker's just randomly in the pit lane. Interesting. Oh, okay. Vince just said he started from the pit lane.
This is the first incident.
Yeah, this is the first.
Is it? Yes.
Yeah. So
Scarpelli just pushing. I think that was Ockenhaug or Rivoli into the wall.
That could have been much worse, by the way, than it was.
Yes, significantly.
What did he do here? So he's obviously got
lost it rear, I think.
No, it was hard. There was already contact.
And then Tuamela coming across.
Yeah, it sort of pushed him into. That's probably going to go down as a racing incident, actually.
Yeah, there's just so much happening there that you can't really put the blame on anyone.
No.
Is this what happened to Tuamala spinning out? Oh, wow.
Just lost his bearings, I guess. Yeah. We have to go back live. London is a second a lap quicker than Oliver Sharker in P1 right now. 1 second per lap in an identical machine in a spec championship. He's reeling him in so quickly, and this is going to be like taking candy from the baby, I think.
I don't want to say it'd be the right thing to do, but yeah, Lattinen is just so dominant this weekend. Our championship leader, rather deservingly, to hold on to it after his performance this weekend. It's just so dominant from Lattinen. It's just difficult to watch, really, to see a car so dominant. But other than that, it's really just a fight for their lives, really, out on track, it seems, today. But yeah, Lattinen, 0.5 now, and I think, rather, it's over Oliver Sharko. 50.5 best lap. I would be surprised if anyone's going to get faster than that at this point. But Sharka now under pressure, and I doubt he's going to fight this much longer. This is Ockenhaug and James Knox. Knox had that penalty. I don't think he served it just
yet. Yeah, he must not have served it, yeah. It's going to be a matter of time. It's already 3/10 between the two leaders. So I want to make sure we don't miss that. But Bakunov and Dan Hutt there, 14th and 15th. For HPE teammates, but Lattinen, it's literally about where he wants to pick the move, really. He doesn't have to rush this. He's got 3 laps left. Plenty of time.
Yeah, and he's going to have Slipstream down the squiggly line ahead of him, and I suspect that's going to be where the move for the lead happens, unless something significant now happens to Jase Lattinen. But other than that, I would say it's over. But Schalke, actually, rather impressive straight line speed, but the slipstream catching up to him now. And I said it would be done on the squiggly line here, but I think we'll be doing it on the next one, or even on the actual main straight. So yeah, this is going to be just such a dominant drive from Jase Lattinen. I don't know why it says DRS active.
It's not. It's
I
just
assure you we don't.
yeah, we don't have DRS. It's not going to be into the last corner.
Is it?
No, it's not. It's not going to be the last corner. It's not. Okay, good. It'll be down into turn 1. That's the right thing to do. We've got a much longer slipstream section. There's a yellow flag in sector 3. Here comes Lattinen then. From P10 on the grid, he's going to move himself all the way up to P1. And through he goes. Sharka doesn't fight that too hard. He knows that he is beaten, and through goes Latin. Apex Grand Prix are going to take a double victory here, all being well. And Latin is going to massively extend his championship lead heading into round 3. Here's James Knox and Massimiliano Riboli from Timonal battling away for 6th position, as they have been for a couple of laps now. James Knox,
who was that in the background? Sorry.
Magnus Ockenhaug, well, I didn't see it. I was looking at race view. What did he do?
I think he just outbroke himself. The TF racing ahead, I don't think he hit him. No, just lost it.
Oh
no.
Magnus Stroll. Oh, goodness. No, you can't.
That was very well avoided. I think that was... that's not Luca Gray. It's the other one.
Shavinsky, that would be bad. Yes, no. Please don't read about that. Here comes... Okay.
What is that? Oh, dear. I have to put that on Sokolowski, but
that's no. What do you mean that's Sokolowski's fault?
Oh, my fault. Yeah, that was clearly Tom Parker's fault there.
Less said about that, the better. That's just a tangle of wheels, and that's what happened to Riboli. He managed to hit the wall as he recovered.
Yeah. But also, James Knox there made the move on Riboli. Sort of fruitless overtakes, it seems, to him. So he's going to have to hit, and this is Taras on Magnussen for the final podium position, I suspect. Never mind, this is not going to be an easy fight for Taras. Magnussen
no, he's still there. Yeah, he's still there, Magnussen. He's still got an overlap. Okay, finally gives up. So Taras for the other Apex up into P3. I would say they've had a pretty good round. I don't know about you.
Yeah, it's difficult to argue than that. And I doubt Sharka's going to have a huge stake that's going to lead us to another Apex 1-2. But
yeah, no, I don't think that's possible in 2 laps. It's a fairly big 4-second gap to Sharka, who, by the way, very quietly has done an excellent job. He escaped up the road quite early on, knew he didn't necessarily have the pace to win, let Latman go through without losing too much time. Other than that, he's been untroubled, and he's going to take P2, and that's fantastic for 0-1. And you could say he's gone from 0 to hero.
Well, he's definitely not first, that's for sure. He's it's not funny. I don't know why we're laughing.
6th position is James Knox. We're watching him behind. I don't know why I said Tuamela for the race win. I just sort of threw that in there. I probably should have just gone with Lightning. The amount of pace he had in race 1 for his race win was so substantial. It was just a case of if he got through the pack, he would win. Which is what's happened ultimately. And Taras has obviously also got similar pace. In fact, look at the difference in setup here between Tuamela and Knox. So I don't know if you saw that, but Tuamela is scraping along the ground at the end of the straight. Knox nowhere near. Very interesting. Latin set a new fastest lap of the race on the ultimate lap, so he hasn't got any issues with tyre wear. And Knox is now serving his penalty, though. So he did have a penalty. We weren't seeing things. It's probably a good thing to do actually later in the race. You've got less chance of there being, especially if you've got the pace, you've got less chance of there being cars in the way. And it's quite a short pit lane here. There's no like chicane or anything like that well, there is on the entry, but on the exit.
Oh, this is close.
Turn 1. Dix needs to give him a bit more room than that. Edging him towards the wall. Luca Gray on the outside. Dix has got away with that, actually. That was not too bad in the end. It looked like he was going to keep coming, but he didn't. And Dix just holds on to the position.
I do apologise. I am being rather childish.
What's the matter now? I'm literally just commentating.
No,
look at these two still side by side, by the way.
Yes.
Luca Gray, no! No!
Oh, come on!
He's hit the wall and both of them are sideways. They will recover. Oh dear. No, there's something else has happened. Just an explosion of parts further back. Oh, Mano. Mano's obviously hit Luca Gray.
Oh dear.
What happened? let's see. Well, we're just going to watch Manikandan presumably see Luca Gray.
Oh dear. Yep. That's bound to happen.
Oh. Is that to Amala?
Yes.
It will be, won't it?
Is out. Yeah.
Here's someone who has driven very well. Yasser Lahtinen has absolutely obliterated the opposition today at Jeddah. And for Formula Sprint 2, we have got a first double winner of 2024, and it's Yasser Lahtinen for Apex. Congratulations to the Finnish driver. He's been excellent. Oliver Schaka, P2. Taras takes third position. Patrikur Magnusson, fourth. Noah Tuomela, fifth. Micah is going to be sixth position. Seventh goes to Massimiliano Riboli. Eighth is Yunt. Look at this chaos as they cross the line. For 11th, 12th. Who has no wing? Scarpelli. Okie dokes. Well, I wonder where that happened. Oh, and someone's not best pleased. Who was that? Not best pleased. Karala? Is that who was? Or is he just wiggling?
Yeah, it must be Karala.
Wait, why is Karala in 18th position when he just crossed the line? I wonder if he had a penalty and he added 30 seconds. I've seen that before.
No, because 30 seconds would have been far more than that, surely.
No, not necessarily, because there's about 3 people finished this race.
That's true.
What, it must have been Karala, and he must have had a big penalty.
Is this our last finisher, 23rd?
Giesinger is, yes. No, Mike Bell is still in the race.
You do have
There's
to
not much of a
respect.
train behind him today.
No.
There we are. Well, there we are. I mean, so much happened. I'm feeling pretty drained. Discord is absolutely blowing up, by the way, in the Formula Sprint 2 chat. Let's have a look. This is what I need to see.
No,
Okay.
this is Mano again.
Yeah, but this is what happened to him. He just sees a wild Luca Gray appearing in front of him.
Just
yeah, no, that's not
unfazed. Just drives there.
In fairness, I don't think he had much time to react.
He had a car on the left.
Tuomala had 0 time. What's he? Oh, he got hit the debris. Ah, unlucky, Mikhail. Lucky to continue with all his bits. Oh.
Oh dear.
Oh. Oh. The session. So, lovely view of the UI from R Factor 2 again, ladies and gentlemen. What's more interesting is that it said authentication error, no user account on the screen.
Are we not paying?
Somehow it seems like it. Someone have a word with Will Panisi. I'm gonna read Can we read the results a different way? Isn't this way?
I don't think we can actually.
Put a different screen on. I can look at the results on RaceView, like everyone else can if you go to race-view.com. Thank you, Vincent. I will read the results out for those who can't possibly look at that screen anymore. Yasser Lahtinen was our Race 2 and Race 1 winner. Oliver Schaka, P2. Oliver Taras, P3. Patrikur Magnusson, P4. Noah Tuomela, P5. Mateusz Micah, 6th position. Massimiliano Riboli was in 7th position. David Yunt, 8th. Shavinsky, 9th. Ockenhaug, 10th. James Knox, 11th. Scarpelli in 12th. Yunus Karala, 13th. There was something weird going on with his results in that race. 14th went to Vakunov, and the last point went to Dan Hutt in 15th place. Behind them, Joe Gillett, Jörn Dix, Mikhail Tuomala, Bjorn Golder, Florian Azer, Caroline Harvig, who, by the way, started last position and ended up in 21st, despite being a little bit off the pace. Obviously didn't, just did race 2. Still finished 21st ahead of Joshua Dexter, Maxi Giesinger, Luca Gray, Manu Manikandan, who we saw was in the wars, and Mike Bell was the last finisher, with DNFs for Craig Patterson, Matusz Sokolowski, Tom Parker, and Nick Kalper. Breathe, everyone. it's time to ask some people to come in for an interview, and we have one.
Single.
Oliver
One.
Taras, we have one. So currently, if anyone's watching this, I should be more specific. If anyone's watching this and they have driven in Formula Sprint 2 today, please come for an interview. We would like to talk to you. No. I've learnt my lesson from earlier, Alex. What do you think might happen? Took about 35 minutes of my life before we got an answer. Oliver, let's speak to him. Mr. Taras. Congratulations. Yeah. P2, P3. Race 1 and race 2. What was Apex doing that everyone else wasn't?
I don't know, to be honest. I'm not sure. Because I was expecting everyone else to be closer, but then they weren't. So I'm not sure.
Okay, very inspecific. Did you do lots of practice, or was it sort of setup related? Do you think you just got a handle on Jeddah generally?
I'd say we probably did the same practice as most people who are trying to get P1, P2. But we got our setups quite quickly because we just adjusted the ones from Melbourne and just went from there. So we didn't really have much to change. So I'm guessing that's probably helped that we got used to the setup really quickly and weren't switching between them every day.
No, fair. I mean, sometimes it does work that way, Oliver. I mean, it's just about consistently putting the laps in and trying to improve yourself. And I think a lot of people do adjust setups over and over and over again, searching for lap time, when really they need to be looking at themselves and trying to perfect their own racing lines and stuff like that. So I completely appreciate that, actually. Obviously, Yasser was that much quicker today. He has taken a double victory and extends his lead, but ultimately it's about the team, isn't it?
It is. Well, we're trying to get Yasser as many points as possible because unfortunately he probably isn't able to do the second half of the season.
Oh.
So we're trying to get him as many points as possible. But we were expecting him to be extremely quick. At least I was. Because when we were practicing, he was like miles ahead of me. Which,
I mean, yeah.
happens.
Yeah, I mean, you two are both. I mean, he was 7 tenths. I think he had pole from third by 7 tenths, and you obviously a couple of tenths behind him. He is absolutely flying at Jeddah. So he's not doing the second half of the season, did you say? I mean, what's the
I don't know how much I can tell you. I don't know if I've just made a mistake, but it's what it is, isn't it?
It's what it is, isn't it?
I've heard round 10 being thrown around, actually.
Is this so? He's finished, right? Is this to do with a military service or something, or is he going away?
Might be.
Fair.
Might be.
Yeah, no, I know that is a thing in Finland. So
yeah, a bit annoying though.
Yeah, no, but I mean, to be honest, we used to have it in the UK, and it's I think it's a great thing that Finland do. To be fair,
yeah,
so.
I think it is. I think that is good, but not good for the championship.
No, or Apex. No, completely understood.
No,
well,
really.
No. Alex, do you have any questions for Oliver?
I have none.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Oliver, for joining us. We've had a nice time. Enjoy watching the broadcast back. It was fairly chaotic.
Very chaotic.
Very, yes. Thanks, mate.
Cheers.
We have another man involved in the interviews. We've got Noah Tormella, who I would love to speak to. If there's anyone else, please do jump in. But Noah, you were my pick for race 2 victory, and you let me down, and I'm very disappointed. What happened?
We got humiliated. That's what happened.
I know. Yasser Lattinen was very quick this round. I asked Oliver Taras just now why that might have been. He just said laps on the same setup. But I mean, do you have any other thoughts?
I don't know, setup, I guess. I mean, can't deny they're good drivers, but damn.
Yes.
I don't understand where we could find more time like that. The maximum I could probably do is up 50.2, and I don't know how they did for a freaking, what was it, 49.5?
49.4, yeah. Yeah, that was very quick.
That's insane. I don't understand how he did that, but whatever. Live and learn. At least he's Finnish. So
love it. At least he's Finnish, indeed. Your own races. I mean, how do you feel ultimately? Where were you in race 1? Let me have a quick look. 5th actually was pretty good, actually, Noah.
Yeah, consistent driving, I guess. Get a couple positions, but quite a boring overall race one.
I mean, it wasn't boring to watch in terms of the overall race. Definitely watch it back on the YouTube channel. You can go to GPVWC YouTube channel, watch everything back. It's a great suppository of all previous broadcasts, by the way. But yeah, no, you guys, before the season started, we were sort of thinking maybe you guys were sort of right up there. KV86 are currently, or were, P3 in the championship in the teams as well. Is this something you can bounce back from in Japan?
I have a bit of experience in Japan, so in that sense I could, but I think we have a huge misstep somewhere in the setup that we need to find and fix. So, yeah, I hope we can.
I do too. Alex, have you got any questions for Noah?
I have nothing.
Okay. No, thank you, Noah. Appreciate you coming in to speak with, well, me. And we'll speak to you soon.
Webby wobble.
So random.
It's... I've had a really good time. I don't know about you, Alex. I've had a great time.
Yes, actually, this is the most fun I've had broadcasting a race ever.
I'm sorry. I can only apologise.
I mean, I think the joke about 8,427 corners is pretty good.
It's a lot. It's a long track. It's a lot of corners.
Very.
It's a lot of corners. Right. Thank you, everybody, so much for watching and persevering.
And putting up with
there's
it.
still 34 people watching right now. I love it. I love it. I love it when people watch our broadcast. We put so much effort in behind the scenes to make everything happen for you guys. There's a load of people involved. It's all, a lot of it is for free. So thank you. Thank you very much, Vincent Gutt, for being the voice in our ear. He's not going to say thanks because you can't hear him, but I'll tell you that he is probably grateful. And Slash does a lot of work. So thank you, Vince. Appreciate it. And Alex as well for coming along. Final thoughts, final words?
It's a fun race that we saw, but I do think that we need to have a serious reevaluation of some driving standards here.
Yes, there have been some. Yes, definitely. Yes, I would say so. You have to also understand that this is the lower level career ladder championship too. But yes, there were some very obviously avoidable incidents today. It is what it is. I'm a bit more critical of the championships further up if you get that kind of stuff. But a lot of people here are quite new to sim racing, and it can take time for them to learn sort of the ropes a little bit, and hopefully they will. That's why we have the reporting system. That's why we have the driving standards team. So, yeah, it will get better over the season as well. And this is a particularly tricky track. Let's be honest. There's a lot of walls here, Alex.
Yeah.
So
they don't forgive either.
But I agree. Overall, it could have been better. One thing I would say, Latnan was unbelievable this evening. Yep. And if what has been said is true and he can't do the rest of the championship after the middle of the season because of some sort of thing he has to do, I assume, I think I might have guessed correctly that it's maybe military duty. That will be a shame for the championship. So we wish him the best of luck later on in the season. We'll speak to him about that, I hope. But yeah. Okay, cool. I've done a lot of talking. I'm going to not talk anymore for a while. I think I'm going to put my head in a pillow probably. But thank you very much, guys, for watching. Have a lovely evening. And until we... Oh, what's the next round? The next round's at Japan in 2 weeks' time. Tune in for Formula Sprint 1 on Thursday as well, which will also be at Jeddah. But until me and Alex see you again, it'll be two weeks' time at Suzuka. So until then, thanks for watching.